Hi everyone! Today we're doing the plan with me for May 14th through the 20th. I'm posting it on Tuesdays. Sorry it's a little late, but that's life. Anyway, so I'm going to start by covering up all the color, both the numbers at the top as well as the color down at the bottom. And to do that I am using the edges of the sticker pages, and these are just sticker pages that I print and then use a ruler and blade to cut out, and then there's usually that like border trim area, so I use that to cover up all of the color areas. And I'm actually running out of, I'm going to say trim because I'm going to say extras, and so I'm either going to have to use a regular piece of paper next time and just cut it up, or just a full sheet of sticker paper, or I might switch to whiteout. I'm not quite sure. I might have to experiment with that. But what you see me doing with the tweezers and my finger a lot is I'm basically pushing down the edges of the page. And the reason why I do that is that it kind of blends into the actual sheet more. And it's not like a step down, it's more like a ramp. So there's less of a jump. And you see the difference a lot less if you do that. So it takes only a few minutes, but it is totally worth doing, and I'm glad that I found that it's something to do. So I'm just going to keep going, and as I said, I was starting to run out of the white sticker sheet, so I've been using even the thinnest of the thin and just doubling it up. And right now it really doesn't look that great, but once the washi gets put on, you don't see it, so it's not a problem. And I knew which washi I was going to be using for the spread, I just didn't know which ones I was going to place where, and so that's what you saw me doing a second ago, measuring it and seeing what it would look like. And then I'm just going to lay it out. And the washi that I'm using right now, this patterned one, it came from Michael's. I believe it was Recollections. I know it came in one of those mason jars. I don't know if they still have them because I haven't been to Michael's in a really long time. I don't think they'd have this specific one because it was one of those, like, occasionally they come out with I'm going to say a line, and then after that season it's gone. So I think this was one of those lines, and it was just a bunch of washi in a plastic mason jar, and it was cute, and so I got in it. And then I did end up rolling them on those laminated mason jars like I do with a lot of my washi now. And especially once the washi is starting to run low, or like there's not very much on a roll, it just takes up a lot of space and there's no reason for it, so I do it this way. And what I'm doing now is I wanted to use this on the edge, but obviously the washi was too thick, and I didn't want to just cut it down the middle because that, I mean, it would look okay, but it wasn't all that great. And I decided to use a scissor and cut down the, I'm going to say the pattern in between, and it actually gives it a much more finished, purposeful look as opposed to just, okay, well let's cut it down to make it fit. It looked like it was done very purposefully, which I guess it kind of was, and so that's what I decided to use. And I decided to go back in with this solid color. The patterned washi that I'm using didn't cover all of the white of the stickers, so I decided to use this to kind of give it a more finished look and to tie it all in a lot more. And I am using my 6-inch metal ruler, and the 6-inch metal ruler is just a couple bucks at Staples, so I had gotten a couple of them a while back actually while I was working, and now I use it for this. And yes, I use my tweezers a lot, especially when my hands sometimes don't work the greatest because of Lyme disease, so I use the tweezers to help with that a lot, which is why you'll see even me use it for the washi, which I normally wouldn't have. I usually use it for stickers, but sometimes I also use it for washi. And also I've noticed that if you don't leave enough of a tail on washi to rip it, it's much harder to do, and sometimes even nearly impossible. But if you don't leave enough of a tail, if you use the tweezers, I think it's because of how it grips it rips it much easier. So just a little trick out there for you if you haven't left enough of a what's it called? Like an overhang of the washi. Use a tweezer, it'll make it work so much better. And now I'm just trimming the edges off, and yeah. And obviously I'm being very careful along that edge because it is the punched edge, and that is the most, I'm going to say, accidentally cut into edge that I have. So I'm always super careful. And now I'm just making sure to have all of the white pushed down as best I can, and then I'm going to do the same pattern that I did on the other side over on this side. And yes, this is the little mason jar, and I was having a hard time getting it up at first. So I did it off camera, but I think I actually used those tweezers, and those tweezers are the best thing that I've gotten. I think it's like my most used tool at this point. And seriously, if you have any trouble with your hands, whether it's them not being able to grip, which I sometimes have, or if it's just that your fingers are bigger and you can't get into the little details, whatever it is, the tweezers are amazing to help, whether it's detailed work or lining it up and you don't want your hand in the way, which is why I started using the tweezers, but they have a lot of uses. And the ones that I'm using here, I just found the Dollar Tree. I believe it was in the beauty aisle where they have the makeup and all of that, but they are sharp. They work really well for, I'm going to say, beauty reasons, but they also work really well for this. And no, I don't use them for both. I have two separate tweezers, one for crafts, one for toiletry purposes, and yeah. So, but I just wanted to let you know it is just $1 and it's at the Dollar Tree, so it's a very easy find and they are really awesome. Anyway, I think I've spoken about tweezers plenty at this point. So I am just putting out the washi, and I decided on the edge of the page to just do the full strip because I don't usually have tons to write in on Sunday, and if I do, I can just put like a sticker over it if I want to, or write on it because it's not, I'm going to say it's such a dark color that it matters. So it did go into Sunday a little bit, but I don't mind, especially because I'm going to be using this, I'm going to say the middle part of the design to separate the weekend from the rest of the week. And yeah, I don't always do that, but I figure sometimes it's nice, especially if I have that spare strip from someplace else that I cut, I use it. So now I'm going to go into doing the numbers, and for this I'm going to be using the red numbers. These also come from Dollar Tree, and I use them a lot, so I'm sure you guys have seen them a lot. I have them in several different colors. I actually haven't seen them at the Dollar Tree the past several times I've been, but I know it's something that they have sometimes, but not others, so keep your eyes open, and they do have them in several colors. I think I have them in blue, green, red, silver, and black, and yeah, so I use them a lot. I'm actually starting to run out, more specifically of the number portion of it, but of all of it as well. Especially because when I'm running out of, let's say, ones, I will use the letters to cut those down and make myself ones, which I believe you actually will see in a bit, unless I had enough ones on this one. That's a lot of ones. Okay, moving on. So I'm just going to keep going, and what you see, sometimes my hands will go off camera after I take it off the page. It's usually because there's a little part of the paper that gets stuck in the 6 or whatever else, and it's hard to get out, so I'll just quickly do that and put it in the trash pile. These ones are really great stickers. They're fairly good quality. Occasionally they'll rip, but even if they do, I'm usually able to use them anyway because you can kind of just line them back up and you don't really see it very well. So it doesn't really matter. At least it doesn't to me. In my planner anyway. If I was going to be making something for somebody, I might not use it, but for my own personal purposes, I don't mind. And it looks like I had plenty of ones for the reds, because I haven't used the red as often. I know blacks, I'm totally out of the ones, but each of these packs, they did come with 2 sheets, and each sheet is the entire alphabet, and then all the numbers, and it's the exact same thing, so it really is a great deal. especially because one sheet can usually cost you $1. So for it to basically be 50 cents a sheet, it's pretty damn awesome, especially with how many stickers are on each sheet. So I am putting these down, and then, sorry, excuse me for 1 second. Cough moment. Okay, moving right along, I'm going to be putting down more washi, and what I want to do is I want to tie in that red more. So I am going to be using a red washi kind of as the border line. And in case you're new here, the reason why I use this happy planner is for my family. I have a small one that I use for my personal to-dos and stuff like that, but this one's more my full family. It's me, my son, and my fiance, and I always put them in the same places. I'm the top, then goes Tyler, my stepson, and then at the bottom my fiance, and I usually mark them off, but not always, and because this is separated into 3 parts, it worked perfectly. So I did just alternate with the red, and what is that color? Is it like aqua or turquoise? I'm pretty bad with the names of colors. I think they're pretty colors, I just don't always remember what the names are. Anywho, so I'm doing it on this side, and I didn't want to go over the border that I had made for the weekend, so I did have to do it in 2 goes so that I didn't cover it. And you'll see it better in this one. I know the other one I was a little off camera. I am working on trying to figure out the best way to stay completely in frame, but it's a work in progress. I'm still learning, and I'm still figuring out my setup and the lighting and all of that, so eventually I'll get it perfect, or a lot closer to, but for now I think this is just fine. But if you have any suggestions, I am totally open to them, and I actually would love to hear them. They'd be very much appreciated, whether it's lighting or setup or anything like that. And I do film on my iPad. That's actually what I film on, what I edit on, and what I record my voiceovers on. So it's pretty much my whole setup. And if you have any tips or tricks, I would love them. So moving along, I am putting the Tyler header up there, and this is just a header that I made myself in Word and printed on the sticker paper and then cut out, and you'll actually see that it no longer has like a strip of white on the side. You can kind of see that in the other 2 sheets that you see in the corner there because I used those to cover up the color. So I did that for Tyler, and then this is my fiance's logo, so I thought that was perfect for him. So I have a couple sheets of his now, just I'm going to say on hand, because I had run out at one point, and I was just like, I can't do my spread. But now I usually have a backup. If you look at these sticker sheets, they are, I'm going to say I made them myself, but even apart from that, they do have a binding portion to them where you can see that they were punched to be put in holes, to be put in a disc bound system, and I do have a video coming out. I have filmed it. I just need to edit it and get it up to you guys, but it's all about how I store my stickers and how I decided to keep them all nice and neat. So I'm going through this sticker book by Create365. It just says today is your day. Sorry about the ums. I've had a long day already. And I just cover the notes with that, and I usually do that exact same thing. Sometimes I differ, but I always cover the notes. I don't like it sitting there. Even if I don't use that the sidebar for anything, I always cover the notes section, like header thing. So these stickers that you see me putting down, they're just my, let's say, chore stickers. I know that every Monday I always do the deep clean of the house, so I put that down as a reminder. And those are just stickers that I made myself. And I put down the 2 YouTube ones. Clearly I didn't quite make it for the Monday. I will be moving that sticker over to Tuesday, but I'll hopefully also have a video up for you on Thursday. And that's it for this week. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week.